You're welcome to this video. In this video, we'll be looking at how to create a company database in Sage 200 Evolution. Now, having installed the Sage 200 Evolution software on your computer system, so we'll now proceed to launch the software. So I have the software on my taskbar, so I'll simply double click. So this is the login to Sage Evolution window. Now this is the window that enables you to open already created company database on Sage 200 Evolution, and equally to create a new company database. Now, looking at this logins window, you can see the list of already created company database on my Sage 200 Evolution software. Now, to create a new company database, I'll click on the new button. Right? So I'll click on the new button. Now, creating a company database in Sage 200 Evolution is country and region specific. So depending on the region the company you are creating belongs to, you need to select from these various countries and regions. So since we'll be creating a database for a company in Nigeria, now the name of the company is ABC Nigeria Limited. So looking at the various country and region, we see that the region where Nigeria belongs to is not found on the listed region. So I'll simply select on others. So this category will work for a company in Nigeria. So I'll click on other. Now the next thing is to specify your SQL server and database. Now, when installing Sage 200 Evolution on your computer, you will require to install an SQL server if your computer does not have one already, right? So, in the process of installing the Sage 200 Evolution on my system, I already have a server. So, I'll simply click on the drop down arrow and select the server. So, this is the name of my server. This first option here, I'll select it. Then next is for me to create the company name, right? So the name of this company is ABC Nigeria Limited. Then we'll now require to create a default admin username and password, right? So the default administrative username and password is set to admin. However, it is recommended that you change the password. So for now, I'll leave it at its default, the admin password and username being admin. So the next is to click on the next, and I'll now proceed to click on next. Now the next thing is to set up our common database. Now, Sage Evolution as a database runs in conjunction with a common database. Now, a common database stores your layout for your documents, your reports, and so on. So you need to link a common database to your Sage database. So I'll click on use common. I'll allow this box checked that says use common database on the same server, right? But if you want to create a new common database, you uncheck this box and now select your server name and now create a new common database. But I'll be using the common database that is already on the server, on the same server, right? So now the next, we have a button by this side, a registration button. Now this is where you enter registration information to activate the different modules that you purchased when you were acquiring the Sage Evolution software. Right? Now it will store registration information in your common database that you have selected, and will be available to all users that are sharing the database. So I'll proceed to click on next. I'll bypass the registration for now and click on next. Now, next thing is the branch accounting. When you're creating a database on Sage Evolution, Sage 200 Evolution, you're required to specify if the database will be, select whether this database is a head office or a branch database. So we will normally select a head office database, right? So the head office database, even if the company does not have a head office, the head office database will be the appropriate option. But if you are creating a database for a company that is a database for a particular branch of a company, you select the branch option. So I'll click on next. Now this is where you enter the name and the address of your company. So the name of the company is ABC Nigeria Limited. So you can, as you enter all information, you now need to enter information about the physical address, the telephone, fax, and email. Now we are going to bypass entering this other information. Now you can change this later and set up further information about by going to common, and under the common going to maintenance, and under maintenance you select company details. You'll be given access to enter additional information. But for now we are going to bypass this information. I'll click on next. Now the next thing is for you to choose a closing date for your current financial year. Now this company we are creating a database for, the current financial year ends at 31st of December 2025. I want to create for the financial year 31st of December 2025. So the next thing is specifying where the closing date is applicable, the year the closing date is applicable, right? The year the closing date is applicable. When creating a database in Sage Evolution, Sage Evolution will automatically create 5 financial years for you. However, you need to specify year 2 as being your current financial year, simply that you have information for year 1 available. So I'll leave the financial year as it is, showing year 2. Now click on next. Now next we have the general ledger account structure. So this now we have 2 account structure. We have standard / structured general ledger. We have segmented general ledger, segmented structure. Now the general ledger structure is how your charts of account will be displayed. Now if you select a segmented general ledger structure, it will mean that no default chart of account will be created, and you can't post transaction in your system until your appropriate charts of accounts have been created, right? So we'll leave it as standard or master / sub account structure. Now the tax processing method, we'll select here the normal tax method, right? So the normal tax method is what will be selected. So click on next. Now the next window that shows displays our charts of accounts. So we need to select the form of our charts of accounts. So we basically have 2 kinds of charts of account. We have character charts of account and we have numeric charts of account. So we are going to select. So we'll select character charts of account. Then we need to select the type of company that matches the description of our company. And when we select the type of company that matches the description of our company, a default chart of account will be created based on our selection. So we're going to select a general chart of account. We want a general chart of account such that we can always edit our chart of account or modify them to have the different ledgers as we want them to. So click on next. Now the next thing is to set up login security. Now login security enables you to specify certain requirements for login security. For example, number of password length. So if I check this enable login security box, I will then be required to ask what is the minimum password length and what is the password archive limit. Right? Now, note that once you set up your login security, you will not be able to revert back to original settings. So I'll leave it unchecked and I'll click on next. So now this is a confirmation of our new database that is about to be created. So we can see the server name and the database, the name of the database. So I'll click on create. So it will now run through the whole process of creating the company database at the back end. So we can see that the details of our database. We can see the version of the Sage 200 evolution we are using. And we can see our database name, our common name, and our company name. So it's going to run through the installation. It's going to run through the installation process, and once it's done, the company is going to be launched. So we'll give it some time for the database to be created. So this will be installing and creating all the necessary files and that are required for all the modules in your company database. So it's going to take some minutes. So you can see the next thing is to set up a freedom service. So I'm going to bypass this freedom service setup. I won't be using any freedom service. So I'll delete this. So it is required that normally when you get to this point, just bypass this freedom service and click on finish. Now it says your demonstration period has expired. So I'll bypass the for registering now and click on later. So the company database is being created, and the company will open once it is created successfully. So all the different documents and files for each module will be installed and be created in the back end. So once it's done, so you can see that it's now prompting us transaction session date. So it's telling us the date for posting transactions. So we'll be using our current date for each transaction we are posting. Right? So we'll be using our current system date in posting transaction. So the option says prompt every time a new company. So whenever you create a new company, this prompt will be displayed, requiring asking for you to specify the transaction session date. So I'll click on OK. So the company will be created at the back end. So once it's created, it's going to open. Right? So this is the company. So the company has been created and it's been opened. The software is being opened, and we can see the name of the company here. You can see the date it was created, and this is the home page. Normally the home page is called the Sage Explorer. The very first page that opens is called your Sage Evolution Explorer page. So that is how we create a company database in Sage 200 Evolution. Thank you very much for watching this video.